With successive box office triumphs, it's hard to believe it took 6 years to see the return of Hollywood star Ryan Reynolds as Marvel's Deadpool. But in that time, studio ownership of the title changed hands to Disney, and securing the continuity of the Deadpool brand, which typically doesn't scream family-friendly, was important. But in Ryan's hands, supported by director Sean Levy, the third installment of the franchise was said to be unique, thanks in no small part to the introduction of another fan favorite, Hugh Jackman, for the rough-and-tumble love-hate bromance that is Deadpool and Wolverine. Superhero fans are not shy about sharing their opinion, especially when they are not happy, and the fanbase of Deadpool is undeniable. But each film has only left them wanting more, so there is clearly a formula for success that Ryan Reynolds has. And with choices like finally putting Wolverine in his famous yellow suit to bringing Wesley Snipes back as Blade, Ryan knows how to cater to the fans.
Judita DaSilva from Arise Play Nigeria. Several directors and producers have made superhero films and approached it like a normal film, and they soon had a baptism of fire because they realized the fan base are not just film fans, they're comic fans, and they're very unique. When it came to this film, how closely did you keep your ear to the ground, monitoring the temperature of the fan base when making Deadpool and Wolverine?
Well, I mean, Judita, if I'm gonna answer that honestly, I would say that like the fan base for Deadpool was pre-Deadpool 1 was, I would say, niche at best. That isn't to say that they shouldn't feel validated and seen in their what they love about the character. And I'm grateful that I listened to that smaller sort of group of people, and I'm grateful I took the time to say, what is it about this guy that is important to you? Or what is it that you like? It's all those things that kind of, I think, make everything richer and deeper. Even I think we talked about it earlier if you were on, but the talking to all the dub artists across all over the world who are about to dub my voice. I love talking to them first, just to go through some of that stuff because it's important. But you know, the idea that this guy's maladaptive coping mechanisms are, you know, humor or deflection. This is his way of not feeling the shame that he carries around 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Wolverine's actually the same. His coping mechanism is violence. So I getting those right, and then getting sort of then it's like, if you have that right, then I get to play. Like, theme is now mine. Like, I get to decide what the theme is. I get to decide what you know, what kind of feeling I want. Because I think movies, when they're at their best, they transcend the genres they're in, and they're a feeling, you know. And I think of when I go into Deadpool, I first write a drama. We're writing a drama. Like, I don't care about comedy. I don't want to talk about jokes. Just what is the movie about? And then I think about what is the feeling I want people to have when they walk out of the theater. I'm not in charge of the feeling they have when they come in. I can only have when they come out. And that's important. So executing those things are great because they're creative playgrounds and free, but getting the core tenets right, that I would argue that the fan base that has that expectation is a fan base that was acquired on Deadpool 1, the broad one. So having authorship of that movie allows me to play and expand and grow these ones even more.
The cutting humor of Deadpool is part of its signature, and it is fair to say no one is spared, from the studios to Ryan himself. But while that unconventional approach might leave some jaws on the floor, it is what audiences love about Deadpool, and it has offered Ryan the chance to showcase his particular talent in his particular way. And as they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Part of the signature of Deadpool is breaking the fourth wall. But what I've admired is that you've used it as a vehicle to not be afraid to be critical of past learning experiences. For instance, X-Men Origins or Green Lantern. But I wondered, how did you not get disenchanted with superhero films, and how did you know Deadpool was the right fit for you?
Oh, I love that question. You know, the failure, I mean, a lot of people say, oh, well, you know, it's the collection of failures that really like put, you know, gave me insight into things that I wouldn't have had without those failures. And part of that is true, but I also noticed that in the industry, I've been in this a long time. I work really hard at studying things that I love, and I think things that would translate and work in storytelling mechanics and the nerdy stuff, but also the bigger, broader stuff. And movies that are like big budget movies that I was a part of when I was younger, I had no authorship on, and nor should I. I was just an actor, and but I had a point of view there, and I would express that sometimes, and it would be either resisted, rejected, or dismissed, and that's also okay. But at the end of the day, when the movie comes out, and if it bombs, they don't talk about the other creatives. They talk about the star, and that's fine. I so accept that as well. But I own the bomb. So it's the Ryan Reynolds movie, you know, so I felt like if I was going to have to go through that, then I want authorship. I'm not going to do this again unless I can, if I'm going to bomb, I want to be the architect of my own demise. I don't want, I want to be, I don't want to be a passenger in someone else's plummeting ship or plane, or you know, so then I can own it. So it became that those movies like that changed my life. I literally saw this obstacle actually as something very creatively valuable, which wasn't an obstacle, it was constraint. And constraint is my North Star and engine, because the more you constrain something, the more you think asymmetrically and kind of do stuff that is completely unexpected. I talked too long, so I don't want you time. You ask your next question, and I'll try to be more pithy.
But I just want to say, like, you're a testament to tenacity. So well done, and thank you for talking to us in Nigeria.
Writing, producing, and starring in the Deadpool films has been a huge undertaking by Ryan Reynolds, but he says he sees it as a show of the studio's trust in him, and that trust has paid off, with Deadpool and Wolverine grossing well over $1 billion at the global box office and becoming the highest grossing R-rated film in history. So love it or hate it, that is success.